in the morning. Everybody's here. That's great. Great job leading by example, y'all. Anyways, I got stuff to talk about. You already know I do. But I want to let Josh Ames talk about his topics first. So, Josh Ames, take it away, sir.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if anybody out there is a fisherman, and I'm just going to start this off on a positive note. The fish are biting, and it's pretty exciting. I caught 2 this morning. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite things to do if you guys don't know anything about me. One thing I love to do is fish, and I have to wake up extra early to go fishing, and it's amazing. So, with that being said, anybody else out there fisherman?
I like to fish, too. I'm not that. I don't wake up that early.
Robert, I know you don't fish. All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. I want to dive into one quick topic. So we are running into a lot of overtime, and a way to fix that overtime, as we're doing our schedules, I want to see everybody start scheduling everybody for 35 hours. We've been doing 38 hours, and people tend to be running into overtime, not taking breaks. So a couple of things that we need to do is we need to start scheduling everybody for 35 hours. You are able to hit that 40. Don't think that we're doing this so that you don't get your 40 hours. I want everybody to get 40. And if you're selling a lot of phones, I want you to get 45. Completely okay with that, but it has to make sense in order to work 40 plus hours. So with that being said, as you guys are scheduling, make sure that we are not scheduling 16 people on a Tuesday. Let's be realistic about this. You need one person to open the store unless you're in the busier stores, Western, Portage, and Warsaw. You guys can open, 2 people on certain days. Those certain days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Excuse me. There's definitely no reason to have 3 people opening a store on a Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday. Like, we've seen it happen, and it doesn't make sense. Phones aren't moving. So let's make sure that we're taking care of that. Does anybody have any questions on that part? Going once. Going twice. All right. Yeah, we'll take that.
Excuse me. It's not a question, but what about people that were hired on the... Yes.
So training is completely fine, and then also your store, you're open an hour later. I will talk to you offline. I got a couple of different things for your store solely, so I'll talk to you more offline about that. But people that are training, when you're training people, it's completely fine to have that. I've already taken that into consideration. So when you have people that are training, make sure that you're just training them. I'm looking for just the employees that are on commission, the ones that are no longer training. That's what I'm talking about. So training people, absolutely. Do what you got to do. Make sure that you're training them the Bravo way, and we are golden there. Does that answer your question, Mr. Davis?
Offline, buddy.
Offline. Great. All righty. Anybody else have any questions on that one? Nobody. Awesome. That was too easy. All righty. Well, with that being said, Zach, I will give it back to you, sir.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, before I dive into my topics, I never got the chance to ask Riley, and I apologize. Riley, do you have anything pending for us, any updates on anything you want to share? I'll give you your chance before I dive into mine.
Yeah, that's fine. Obviously, no other accessories besides the ones that were optimized earlier this week should be showing up to your stores this weekend. So the biggest thing that I want to talk about is making sure that you are staying on top of your Google Drive, staying on top of your inventory. I don't know how each store does their tracker differently, but as long as everything is getting done on a regular basis and making sure that everything is good to go, that's really all I have. Obviously, all these promotions are going on for these phones are still going on throughout the rest of the month, especially the Facebook promo. That is going to go until the 31st. So And then most of the other plans that we have out there are all going to be going until April 15th, which is pretty much the end of tax when you actually can file. So just want to say to anybody, if you ever have any questions on your inventory or how to do something right or how to do something to Elevate correctly, make sure you reach out to me. Obviously, I try to answer every single phone call that I can. If I don't, I try to call you back as soon as I have a free minute. So just feel free to reach out to me if you need anything at all. We are here to help. We are a family. So I just want to make sure you guys know that I am always available to help you with anything you need as far as getting the transaction to finish up or you need to either add something to your inventory or something didn't scan in properly or something like that. So it could be a great weekend. It's, like I said, I think this week has been a little bit busier than the week before. So I do expect a very busy weekend, and let's just attack it, have fun, and give me a call if you need any help. Zach, back to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Riley. And you pointed out something that I didn't even plan on talking about, but I want to just mention something. Well, I was in Western on Monday talking with new hire Fabian and Maritza and going over some stuff. She's like, is it okay, Maritza, as in she's like, is it okay if I get Fabian on some of these trainings right now? I need to do my normal Monday activities. And I said, yeah, that's fine, but if you don't mind me asking, what are those Monday activities? And I'd like to hear what you had to say, Maritza. Can you share with the team what your Monday ritual is?
Basically, I gotta get like the huddles ready. Sometimes I like to get them ready ahead of time, just so I'm not forgetting to do it. I also like to get the scoreboard updated, like with my numbers and then an APO numbers for everybody and the store. Update any inventory, like go through it real quick before, it gets further into the day and then it's really not up to date. Stuff like that, and then just make sure everything is clean and ready to go. Cause if you've been in my store or if you worked at Western, you know that we like to keep it really clean there. So I'm OCD about handprints and stuff like that. So basically I just take from the morning till like around noon to do all that, whatever I got to get done. Callbacks, also get that done within that time, and then go from there for the rest of the day.
Awesome. Thanks, Maritza, for sharing. I thought that was awesome, and I thought that was a great practice, really. And I would basically I would encourage you all to do the same thing. Have your rituals. Have certain days that you have delegated for that. I know Kenny also has a sheet I've seen in the back that every day he has a different thing they audit. If you could today, both of you, Maritza and Kenny, if you guys can share what you guys do on a regular basis as far as auditing your store and keeping it up to par, that would be amazing. I know there's some of you that also do have rituals as well, so I'm not trying to, disregard that. But I think some of us here don't have set rituals and really not sure exactly what day should be delegated for what. And I think both of these two do a great job at delegating that stuff properly per each day. So would you be willing to do that, Maritza? Share your tips on Slack today through the manager chat?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Kenny, could you do the same too?
Sure thing.
Perfect. I appreciate it, guys. And also, when you talk about callbacks, I don't want to eat up too much time, but when you put stuff about that, will you explain how you get callbacks ready for the week too, Maritza?
So the way I do callbacks, I have a notebook with all, per day and who purchased the phone that day. And then when it's time to make the callbacks, I go back to check 2 days from the month before and then 2 months before that. Check those accounts, see when's their due date, and then I like to make a list. So basically all my team has to do is call them, and it has their PIN number and everything on there so they can check their account to see if maybe they have the credit or anything like that, or maybe they've already paid it. But, yeah.
Perfect. I love it. And then there's no excuse for your team not to do callbacks. And I know their team does. I've seen it. They have their rituals, too. They get in, they do their stuff, they go to their callbacks, and it's all laid out. The last thing I'll ask them, Maritza, how long do you think it takes you to get a week ready of callbacks? Roughly how much time do you think?
in between customers, I like to get it done 2 weeks in advance, just so I'm not doing this every single week. But it takes me about at least an hour just to check for 2 weeks and get it all written down and everything.
That's awesome. 2 weeks of work done in 1 hour. That's a great best practice. Please share that as well. I would love for you to share that with the team because I think it's a really great idea and it's really efficient, and it also makes sure there's no excuse for your team not to get those things taken care of, which if you guys don't understand how important callbacks are, ooh, I just missed a squirrel. I thought I was going to kill. But anyways, as far as if you don't see the importance of callbacks, please talk with us about that. But ever since we've done callbacks, I can honestly say our retention has never been better. I would say I think it's a good number to come up with. I'd say our retention is at least 10% better. And honestly, I believe that the whole Smile and Dial thing, strained a little bit from us because I know Shane shared with some upper individuals in Sprint what we do with callbacks, and it was funny. A couple months later, they started having the same kind of scenario. And I think our callbacks are much better. Also, we do have a script that I've shared with all stores of how to do a callback. So make sure that you're teaching your team properly how to do it. So on top of like what Maritza has said, which I think is a great idea, also make sure your team is properly doing it, not just like, hey, what's up, Zach? Call from Western. Yeah, you need to pay your bill. No, we don't want to do that. It needs to be, hey, this is Zach calling from Bravo Wireless, the store on Western where you bought your phone, that Boost Mobile. Just calling to follow up with you, see if you had any questions or concerns, and really just see how everything's going with your new phone. Let them answer those questions. Okay, awesome. Here's your answers, blah, blah, blah. And just wanted to also let you know, as a friendly reminder, your bill's coming up in 2 days. If you can, come on in and make your payment with us, and we'll have a special item on discount for you for coming in to do so. If you're not able to, you can still pay on the app or online. Any more questions for me? No? All right, thanks. Bye. That's it. It's very simple. It doesn't have to be much. But it does need to have some life in it. So make sure that on top of just doing the callbacks, you're teaching your team properly how to do those callbacks. I know Lena does a great job at that as well, too. So if you have any other best practices as well, Lena, I would like you to share, too. But anyways, cool. That wasn't even what I was going to talk about, but I think those are some good topics. All right, my next thing I want to go over with is just to piggyback off of what Josh said with scheduling. Just to let you guys know, we need to really have schedule figured out by the end of this week. And so I've talked to some of the individuals that are helping me with some of it as we're dealing with a few individuals being out. But let's really try to get that done by this weekend so we can have it completely finalized by the beginning of next week and have that sent out. So please, please, please help us all get that done properly and on time. And then follow with what Josh said as well as far as the hours and days and all that. If there's any confusion or if you're stuck in a scenario like, I don't know how to keep this person at 35 hours and have things covered, blah, 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 reach out to one of us. Sometimes a fresh pair of eyes on it can really help. I'll give an example is Riley. He doesn't have to do anything on the schedule, but every day Riley still audits it and makes sure everything's covered for the week. And a lot of times he'll spot things that I missed. So I use Riley a lot as my helper as far as making sure that if I missed anything, he sees it. Because sometimes when you're staring at that schedule for hours, it's easy to miss a few things. So don't be afraid to reach out to us and let us know where you're struggling and what you need help with, and we're happy to help. This is a team effort, and we want to make sure we do this properly. Cool. Last thing that I got is just want to go over proper procedure on call-offs. I think you guys are all familiar with it, but I want to make sure that you know and your team knows. So I want everybody to discuss these things with their team. So as I'm coming around, and Josh and Riley and all of us are going to be coming around next week, and we're going to ask your associates what's the proper way to call off, and I expect them to know how to explain it. So make sure that you are spreading this word. But just to recap, it is a call-off. It's not a text-off. The name is call-off, so it's in the name, pretty self-explanatory. A text-off will not be considered a call-off and will be considered a no-call, no-show. So I do not want anybody texting off. If your team texts you, you need to let them know that they must call, that a text is not acceptable. We'll let them know this ahead of time before that time comes. Also, if you are calling off, or if that associate is, they need to come up with a solution. So they need to contact the rest of their team and figure out what team member could help out, what days they could switch or how they could make it work. And if they are struggling to get a solution with their teammates, that's where they reach out to you saying, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to come in. I need to figure something out. I've reached out to so-and-so, and they're not able to. Is there anything you can help me with? And then they go from there. Managers, if you are calling off, it is absolutely 100% your job to figure out how your store is covered accordingly with your team. I cannot express this enough. I do not want you guys expecting Josh Ames and I to be covering your guys' shifts. It's not realistic with everything going on. We're happy to help at different times. Like I'll give an example, Chris Bluffton. He's got a new hire and he has no one else to cover his store, and he's got to have a couple of days off a week. So he's reached out to us and seen if we could help out. Well, what's awesome is Kenny actually helped out one day, and Josh helped the other. So cool, we have that covered. That's understandable. But as far as just calling off, do not expect Josh Ames and I to be able to cover that, because we have other things that we have to take care of. We may be in another store. We may be covering Bluffton. We may be helping in Auburn. We may be helping in Angola coming up. So there's all kinds of different things that we're going to be involved in. So please, please, please do not, I cannot repeat this enough, do not expect us to be covering your shift. You guys need to cover that accordingly with your team and come up with a plan with your team. Also, if you are aware that you're going to be missing the next day, if you are going to have to call off, I'll give an example. Lucy, after she dropped a can of soda on her foot that already had issues, she went to the hospital, I think it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. She still went ahead and called us, Josh and I, let us know where she was at. They told her it was a 5-hour wait, so she was setting the expectation that she might not be able to make it in, but she had already figured out a plan with her team and wanted to let us know. So, with that being said, we had plenty of time to come up with a plan, and we were able to do so. And she had a plan as well in place. That's exactly how you do it. So if you are, again, you're at the hospital late at night or something crazy happens or you've been puking all night, please, please, please call us and let us know and give us plenty of time to come up with a solution. But again, before you're making that call, you should already have a plan in place, and you should have talked to your team as well and let them know what's going on and how you can figure it out. What's awesome is if you switch shifts with your teammates, that doesn't use your vacation time or anything like that. So let's say, for example, you're going to miss Tuesday, somebody else on your team is off Tuesday, now you're going to flip-flop that, and you're going to work their Saturday, they're going to work your Tuesday. That doesn't count as a vacation day. So that's how you really want to solve it. But if, let's say, it's not possible for you to switch shifts and another associate does have to come in and work extra hours, then you do need to shave those hours off later in the week, have them come in later or leave early or something of that sort. So that's the proper way to call off. Again, call. Give us plenty of time. And before you're reaching out to us, letting us know that you're not making it in or your associate isn't, there must be a plan in place. So that's how you're going to explain it to your team. Does anybody have questions as far as that goes?
Zach, so if it's 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I text you, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it in today, and then I don't answer my phone in the morning, what happens?
The store doesn't get covered. And I consider that to be a no-call, no-show, which is definitely right up. Sorry, go ahead.
I like it. So if I call you at 8 o'clock in the morning, hey, my cat's sick, got to take it to the vet, that's it. What's the outcome there? These are all hypothetical.
The same thing. If I have to, or Josh yourself has to, it's funny about the cat thing, by the way, but anyways, if one of us do have to step in and fill in, I feel there's no point of needing you as the store manager. If we have to fill in for your location and manage your location, this defeats the purpose of having you in that position. So that is not acceptable, so you must have it figured out accordingly with your team.
So what you're telling me is the best way to handle it is, hey, Zach, my cat's sick, I'm taking him to the vet, but on the other hand, I got Zach to cover for me today. Him and I are switching shifts. Is everything okay?
That's completely fine. I just want to be in the loop so I can share it with Riley so he's not putting you on the clock-in issue sheet and we're not docking you $25. but that's completely fine. We just need to be in the know.
Awesome. I like it. It's crystal clear to me. Is it crystal clear to everybody else?
See, I do kind of have a question on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fire away.
Okay, so kind of like the other day, my son's school called. He needed to go home, which I obviously can't control them sending him home, which we figured out. Josh obviously helped me.
Yeah.
But what happens in a scenario like that where I did reach out to Taylor? Taylor said, no, I'm not coming in. And a location like this only has 2 employees.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Dakota, and unfortunately we're going to have to let you go.
All righty. Well, you should be here this morning. Got 2 trainees.
You know I'm kidding. No, everything that you did was 100% correct. You took every avenue that you needed to. Taylor wasn't able to cover for you, and you gave me enough time to get over to Bremen, drop that stuff off, and then come back. So everything you did was perfectly fine.
And you came back.
Yeah, and he called me as well, and he told me that he was going to have some things change up on the schedule and stuff. So, yeah, Dakota, that's exactly what we wanted to have done. So, great job.
All righty. Thank you.
Dakota, I think you threw that out there just to show off.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I do have another question about
the whole thing is just a comment on it, and yeah, that was fine how you took care of it. I just don't want your guys' solution to be, I can't make it in, Josh and Zach will figure it out. That's not how it goes. You got to take your every avenue, like Josh said. You call your team, you try to figure it out. And again, if you're caught in a situation where you don't know what to do, that is where we come in and help out accordingly to the best of our ability, or we try to contact other individuals from stores to help you with the process. But what we're saying is before you've made that call to us, you need to have done everything possible to make sure your store is covered accordingly and put that effort in. But great question, Dakota. Cool. Anybody else have any questions? Comments?
I have another one about scheduling.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are we going to do with Auburn? Is Auburn going to stay the same so I can get that done?
So I can talk to you more about that, Dakota, as far as that goes, but we're going to have to pretty much proceed with how we've been doing things, and I'm going to contact the Fort Wayne stores and see if anybody in those locations may be able to help, like Kenny did in Bluffton, maybe a day or 2 here and there. But I want to kind of still proceed with how we're doing things.
Well, sounds good. I'll start working on the schedule then. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
Hey, Zach, it's Chris.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Question. So when we're talking about 35 hours, that's for managers as well?
Good question. I would say I'll let Josh correct me if I'm wrong, but we still want to keep the rule of thumb 38 to 42 hours is typically for a manager. Associates are 35. Is that wrong? Is that wrong, Josh?
Yes, no, you are absolutely correct on that one. So with that being said, store managers are still, they schedule yourselves first, and then the store associates. Sorry, put my back down. So store managers, schedule yourself the 38, 42. Make sure that we're not running into too much overtime, and then schedule them. I'm sorry, does that answer your question, Chris?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
a great person to talk to about all this would be Dakota. He schedules himself for 38 almost every week I've seen. So then if he has to work a few extra hours, he's still under the allotted amount of time. And it works out great. And then what's awesome is then if he doesn't have to work extra, then, he's right on that number as well, too. So I would recommend you guys reach out to Dakota if you have any questions on how he maintains that, because he has a rather busy store as well. Not the busiest, but it's still consistently busy, and he makes it work with the 2 individuals and stays under time. He's a great example of how to do it. Perfect. Any other questions? All right. Well, if you guys do, if there's any other questions that do come into your mind within the next few hours, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, please reach out to us. Again, as we're coming around, I'm going to be asking your teammates what's the proper way to call off, and I expect them to answer the right way. And if they don't, that's going to be a reflection on you that you haven't explained it properly. So let's make sure you explain that properly, so that way everybody's on the same page and we can be as efficient as possible and just really doing everything the Bravo way. All right, that's all I got, guys. Have a great day. Happy Friday. Let's sell a bunch.